going on, YouTube? Super excited today because I got this package in the mail from my friend Ryan. Ryan builds, custom makes chase cams. He had some advertised on Facebook for $25, so seemed like a pretty reasonable price. Let's do a little unboxing and breakout here. Seems pretty well packaged. We got this little guy set up to carry a GoPro, and then we've got pairs of fins in blue and orange. These are pretty friggin' sweet. They do feel a little brittle, but they've got some flex to them. So I'm feeling a little bit more confident now that I've actually had them in my hands here. Let's see. He was nice enough to include some cable ties, zip ties. And I paid him extra to hook me up with a simple bridle for this thing, a simple way to connect this to my rig. So I'm looking forward to testing this out and seeing what we've got here. And alright, that seems to be about it. Let me pull up those instructions real quick. Alright, so assembly looks to be pretty easy. This is the hub, or the center, and each one of these is called a feather. So directions say to snap each feather into the hub. Now there's a bevel on the inside of the feather, makes it pretty clear and easy to line up, and apparently I'm just supposed to snap these guys in. Now working with the plastic, I'm a little bit afraid that it's a little bit brittle, but I don't know that that's going to be the case. I'm probably not right about that. Let's find out.
So here I went a little bit off script, and I picked up a heat gun and used it, you'll see here, on each of the tabs for these feathers. Now I decided to do this because the tabs just weren't snapping together. So after doing it and seeing that it worked well, I wrote back Ryan, the guy who designs these, and let him know of my modification to his instructions. And as long as it holds up, I'm going to say this was a win. This was a good idea, and I hope he'll consider incorporating it in future iterations of the model. Now, I imagine if you were to just take a hairdryer and heat up some of the tabs, they'd become flexible and they'd fit a little bit smoother. That's just my recommendation.
Alright, so we're finally at the part of the build where I get to start zip tying this thing together.
So zip tying's pretty easy, and it's a lot easier if you don't have a cat on your lap while you're trying to do it. But basically you just take the pre-cut holes in the feathers, you line them up next to each other, and you thread them with zip ties. Now I chose to do it so that they were all on the inside, and you'll see that in the video if you look a little closely. So this process takes about 10 minutes, just enough time to sit there and watch some Tucker Got in the background while you put this thing together.
So now that I've got this thing assembled for the most part with the zip ties throughout, one note: for attaching the bridle itself, I'm going to leave this loop open. I'm going to leave the loop opposite of it, the other side, open. This will be the top of the birdie, of the chase cam. So with those open, that's where I'm going to be connecting the bridle that's going to tow this thing through the air. That'll hold it up high and hopefully keep the trail line out of the shots, giving it that wide open view. So we'll see how that works out, but that's just a note. So I'm going to go ahead and finish tying these up, and then the next step is for those corners that are open, I'm going to go ahead and, or after I get everything tightened down except for those, I'm going to run a bead of hot glue around the front here just to add a little bit of weight and at the same time seal the feathers together. Seal the feathers to the hub itself. So I'll show you what that looks like here in a second. Alright, so I now have our spare Hero 3 mounted on the front of this thing. It really looks like a giant birdie from badminton, but it should be pretty fun to try out tomorrow. So tomorrow morning I'm going to get up early. I haven't decided where we're going to fly yet. I'm going to head out and give this thing a shot. But yeah, there you have it. Beautiful. Gun over the hill.
So as you can see, I met with my friend Jay out at Massey Aerodrome to do a little bit of flying and give this Chase Cam a test flight. Unfortunately, like a dummy, I forgot to hit the record button when I was setting up the line and the bridle, attaching the Chase Cam to my glider. So the really cool video on how I hooked that up, along with inserting a couple of weak links into the chain, will have to come on another video. I'll set that up another time. Just know that the 12-foot of line that was provided, plus about 3 feet of extra line and a weak link, made almost an ideal bridle for the first time. So I'm pretty happy with the way it was set up, hooked up to the attachment points next to, or at the base of the C's, at the top of the Cascades. So I'm comfortable with where the rig rides. For the rest of the video, I'll show you how it flies. So set up for takeoff, and pretty much dead air takeoff. Set up a forward, and man, I could feel the little thing hanging there. Definitely took a little extra effort to get her up and going, but once she was up, it was smooth sailing as usual. So looking up, you can see the bright orange cable and the trail cam. So shout out to my buddy Jay, cruising up there behind the trail cam. You can see, you'll see some pretty cool angles thanks to this little camera. But overall, couldn't really tell it was there unless I was looking for it. And I think a couple times I got spooked just because I really couldn't tell it was there and was worried maybe the weak link had gone and I had lost the camera. Luckily that did not turn out to be the case, so something I'm probably going to play around with a little bit in the designs, just to be a little bit more confident that I'm not going to lose a GoPro. So here's an example of that really cool angle I was talking about. Safe to say I'm pretty pleased with the way this project turned out. Understand that anytime you add anything to your paraglider, it is inherently risky. With that said, there are plenty of these designs out, and this one is not too far from the norm. So I was pretty comfortable taking on the risk, giving this a shot. And overall, I'm pretty happy with it. More videos to follow with this Chase Cam. I'll do one demonstrating the rigging of the bridle as well. But until then, if you're interested in the product, give Ryan a shout on his Facebook page. And I'll leave you with my maniacal laughter following an killed engine glide in from 500 feet, landing right on the cones. So hit that like button for gliding in and landing on the cones, and hit the subscribe button if you want to see more gear reviews. With your subscriptions, you should be able to get to review more gear like this. Thanks for watching, and see you next time.